Call the school board meeting to order of January 21st. Dave, roll call please.
Ron.
Here.
Dick. Here. John.
Here.
Norm.
Here.
Dave here. Joe.
Here.
Jim.
Aye. Here. Proof of notice,
As stated in the agenda.
approval of the agenda. So,
Second.
who was that, Jim? Joe. Motion by Joe, second by Nora. Any questions on the agenda? Nora. Joe?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0. Citizens' comments. Approval of minutes of the previous meeting.
So.
Motion by Jim. Seconded by
Second.
Joe.
Is it time to wake up? Sorry.
Questions on the minutes? Jim?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye?
Abstain.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 6-0-1. Dave, any communications?
Not tonight.
Jim, you ready for a treasurer's report?
Yes. Treasurer's report for Monday, January 21st, 2019. Our total of expenditures, all funds, for December of 2018 was $1,252,729.53. Our investments, state investment pool, general fund has a balance of $1,011,300.81. Has earned interest of $2,880.82. Debt service account is 14 cents. Non-refundable debt has a balance of $1,263.78, or an interest of $2.54, for a total investment of $1,012,564.73. Address the state bank account, general fund, $318,743.54, has earned interest of $734.70. Money market general has a balance of $10,968.84, has earned interest of $20.92. Money market fund 46 trust has $1,216.68, earned interest of $2.32. For total cash investment, Rest State Bank, $330,929.06. For our total cash investments of $1,343,493.79.
Okay, you've heard the treasurer's report. We have resolution 1819142. Motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion by Dick, seconded by
Second.
Nora. Any questions on the treasurer's report? Dick?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 7-0.
And below that, you can see the balance we have remaining in our referendum.
We have resolution 1819143, approval of regular semi-monthly bills. Motion by Nora, second by Dave. Questions on the bills?
I've got a few questions. I've got a question on the plowing. I see we're paying Northwest Cable to do all the work. They're salting and plowing. We have a plow truck, right? What do we use our plow truck for?
They're out there too. That's just not doing.
You know, are we
big
actually,
major areas?
what's that?
They're not doing the big major areas. Our staff does, they do the sidewalks.
Sidewalks, I've seen them.
And,
on the
yeah, yeah.
So
So
we
they
do,
don't do the major plowing of all of, parking lots and that kind of
Okay.
stuff. We contract out parking lots, but they'll
Okay.
do little cleanup with that, front plow, but they do all the sidewalks.
Okay. Do we actually go out for bid for that every year?
Not every year.
We were
When's
just
the last
talking
time?
about, we were just talking about like actually formally going out to bid and locking in like 3 years at a time versus going out like every year, like,
We-
oh, are
we
we
do
doing
that every
this, yes or no?
Are they doing it per
So,
visit kind of thing, or it's?
Yeah.
yeah, it's per
Okay.
visit. We just did this. This was, it had to be, 1 year ago.
This is their second year of it.
Mhm.
Okay.
So we have somebody else
We're
before,
doing-
Okay.
and was bid.
Okay.
There was quite a difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite a difference more.
Less.
Less.
No, we're less now.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's it. Okay. I've got another question on the hot water pump. What is that? Is that a recirculating pump for the furnace? The
No.
boiler, I mean?
The hot water heater
Hot water heater.
just keeps hot water all the time at the faucets.
And how much did we pay for the actual pump, do you know? Why is it
What
that
was it,
high?
2,400 or
For
something
the,
that was?
for the pump? It's,
Yeah.
well, it's 2875 for the whole job. I'm curious to know what we paid for that pump and why it's so expensive.
Well, I know the one on the furnace was almost
10 what?
10,000 last year.
So,
Why is that
hey,
so-
here's
why is
something
it
really
so-
important. Like at the tonight, like I can't get you that answer, but you contact me anytime and we can. Because Angie actually has, and typically she's not here today,
Yeah.
but she puts right here for me, unless
Oh, I
you,
can
do
get
you
the
have
book.
them?
No, I don't.
No?
I can go get the book.
Yeah, because it actually has the detailed
Yeah,
invoice.
what,
So,
the hours and the time and who did it,
And the
Right,
proactive,
right.
whatever.
and where they got it from.
it's all on there. I just don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I seen that one too, I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Because I thought, hot water heater, oh, the pump, because we just put a new hot water heater in.
And I know you can buy recirculating pumps, you know, they're 500 on up to maybe 1,500. I'm wondering why it's so expensive. What they put in, you know,
Sure.
how often we're doing this.
Yeah,
When's the last one?
Just talk to Angie before,
Okay.
because
Okay.
So we'll get that information for you and
Okay.
keep asking
yeah,
questions
just
on
when
it,
you
but I
see it,
can't
just
tell
call
you-
it down here and they'll have it for you when you come to the
Okay.
meeting.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
otherwise, I don't know that off the top of my head.
Okay. I got a question.
Okay?
This is a real simple little question, but when they order tools in the shop, who watches that to see if we have old tools, if we, you know, we've got a new wrench set that was $350. Where's the old one?
Travis. Travis manages that. So he's our B&G director.
Mhm.
So the nice fit is, as a transportation director, that's where we're ordering the tools for, I'm
Go up the
assuming,
check number.
is where we're doing it
Right,
for the.
right.
You got the check?
But who actually watches it? I mean, how do we know that we don't have old tools that are good enough?
That's Travis's job.
Okay.
They kind of,
So, okay, so I've been here now, this is 2.5 years. I can tell you, we don't see new tools being ordered constantly coming up with a big red flag. They have a very limited budget
yeah.
on top of
If
it.
anything, they might be ordering something, you know, to perform diagnosis on the buses that they never did before, because they took it down, and it would cost, you know,
Right,
a fortune.
right.
So,
So,
could be a specialty tool for something, whatever.
It's a little wrench.
But they've got a budget and they gotta live within it, and when it's gone, it's gone.
right, that's what it comes down to. So the budgets, they don't have like a $20,000 budget there we're talking about for tools. That's-
So they typically, at the end of the year, if they have money left over, they're smart to maybe spend it on something, is that where?
Not necessarily. So what happens in the month of April, if they have money left over, they're kind of given a last call for kitchen. If you need something, great. If not, we're gonna hold on to that, is what happens. So I'm a fan of building a budget and letting people use it. So.
The budget will actually build up?
No, it cannot.
Okay.
So
See, right now, we can actually, if there is some, put it in a Fund 46, which we never had before, designated for something else. Where before you kinda had it, or you lost it.
Right, so we established Fund 46, but in the meantime, we've not had the kind of budgets where you're
We
pulling
didn't, we
over
weren't
cash.
ahead to put anything in there.
So they have a supply account, they have to use that during the school year, otherwise it's surrendered to the good of the cause. In the meantime, what we have done sometimes, so let's say in that department, and like in tech ed, I know that, so they've got a $25,000 budget for capital maintenance, we'll call it, for equipment. So they'll have 25 and 25. They may choose to put that together, and in the month of June, they'll order a big ticket item in order to, they intentionally save it to the end of the school year so that they can buy a larger amount. And then the vendor we purchase from, we'll just code it to 2 spots. We'll code it to 2017-18 and the 18-19 or like that. So I typically do that for like instruments, tech ed. It would be for something down like a bus garage if they needed a lift and something more expensive. We'd get strategic that way and kind of split it between 2 budgets. Otherwise, it's always, you're done. It's the end of the school year. Gotta wrap that up. Here we go. On to the next. So you asked some questions. So it's about supplies. Snow plowing, we are talking about going out to bid more formally for, and looking at trying to lock in like more than a year at a time for the lawn and snow plowing, just so you know. So, and then the details on that invoice are right here for
What page?
We'll get going. You guys go on a topic.
If you can
Let's see if
find
I
it in
can
the
find
thing.
some time.
You
You
can
want
find
people-
it there.
Yeah, why don't you? We can look at it, and then later on we can check it out.
So what's,
It's on,
what page is the bill on?
13
which one?
for the bill, I believe it's page 13, which is,
Any other questions on the semi-monthly bills?
well, that was for the snow plowing.
Norm?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried 7-0. Resolution 1819144, approval of per diem. Need a motion?
So moved.
Joe, seconded by
Ron.
Ron. I don't think there's probably much changes there.
That's the first I've ever seen that.
The only change I can see is the Joe's, it says 1-2 instead of 121.
Oh,
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. Same amount. Joe?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Motion carried 7-0.
I'm still.
Any committee meetings? No, we didn't have any. Probably start up again. Administrative report.
A little light on the administrators tonight, so Mr. Zarnat is ill and Mr. Clark is ill. Both of them will not be here tonight.
Whoa.
Yeah, not good.
Maybe it's better they aren't here.
And you don't want them behind you. Okay, so as far as, so some of the stuff I want to share tonight, I went to the CISA 6 PAC meeting, and also they had a legislative breakfast. What's interesting is there's a lot of dialogue going on right now at a state level about the Blue Ribbon Commission findings. And I believe everybody's been getting those emails on the Blue Ribbon Commission. So a lot of talk about consolidation actually, and the consolidation almost being like mandated for a certain size. I would just say be leery of that as far as government mandated, but in the meantime, hey, it makes sense.
I didn't understand. I understand what leery is and be leery of. What is your intent with what you said there?
So I just don't think that you can mandate that schools
Oh, okay. I
consolidate.
just wanted to make sure.
I think boards need to make those decisions and vet it out with their communities, and there will be consolidations coming, more in the state of
Absolutely.
Wisconsin, you know, for sure. And the incentive aid that goes along with that, one of the things is, the incentive aid is not, it's a levy. It's additional taxes is what it comes down to. And that I don't really think is an incentive aid. You know, it's been packaged as incentive aid, and instead in communities is turning out to be tax. So it's not what the original understanding was. But with that Blue Ribbon Commission, they've also been talking about looking at changes in funding for special education for EL populations and based upon socioeconomic, actually providing extra scoop funds to go with that. That's a newer concept to Wisconsin. We get federal dollars that do that, but not specifically from the state. So that'd be interesting to see what happens. What we did learn was that they're probably not gonna make a lot of policy moves right now, this winter and spring. And even the budget, don't expect to get a budget. So we're gonna go in like that, eyes wide open this spring, giving it our best shot to figure out, this is what's happening at a state level. So a lot of support for public education is obviously there, so we'll be optimistic. But now the decision is it coming in the form of that categorical aid, which is like an additional $200 a student, or does it get built into our revenue limit worksheet, which is basically the bread and butter of how everything is financed through, or budgeted for through schools. So we'll see. For Mayville, we actually benefit from just getting the categorical aid per student versus in the worksheet
They're
itself.
saying that we're not going to have that categorical aid tied into next year and so on and so forth.
It'll be there.
It'll be there.
It'll be there. We just don't know the new dollars and how the new dollars
If there's
are gonna
dollars on
be.
top of that.
It could be zero.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
So we're just gonna have to go in with unknowns and just continue to get kind of the beat on the street that's coming from the Capitol. And right now, we'll kind of see what progress is made. So, but stay tuned on that one. And as I get information, I'll make sure to share it as well. So this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is WSB. There's a handful of us that are going, so that's awesome. Weather tomorrow, lots of snow is coming tomorrow afternoon, so that may impact the commute on Wednesday. So, or anybody headed down even on Tuesday. So just pay attention to that one. This Saturday is a big Rotary event, everybody. So it starts around like 3 o'clock. So people are selling tickets here in town. It's one of the biggest fundraisers for Rotary. So it's their annual festival that they have. January 31st is the registration night for Mayville High School, right? So that's going to be kind of a showcase on the progress we made up to this point, and the families should come and start work. It's course selection night is what it comes down to. So you're going to come, look at the different course offerings, hear from the staff, and then within a few weeks turn around and register. So that registration is what drives the staffing at Mayville High School. So that's an important night for us. Then working with Ted Neitzke for our continuous improvement model or strategic planning. I have a meeting with him on February 1st. He's coming to meet with the principals on February 4th. And within a month, probably we'll be starting to connect with the board. So stay tuned, all of that's coming. The 2 population studies, we've shared with them some information just starting. The population study about our community, what it means to become the village of Williamstown. That they have an in-house keeping meeting, that'll be within the next week or so, and then they're gonna start moving and start conducting interviews. So looking forward to seeing how that all unveils. So that will be it for me.
Thank you, Scott. Becky, what do you got going?
We are well into the return of January and January assessment, so we are in the process of finishing benchmarking our learners. We've wrapped up the iReady assessment, which is another one of our local assessments that we do. We've been very encouraged by the growth that we've seen already in our learners at this mid-year point. We are working on Second Step, which is the social emotional curriculum that we purchased at the beginning of this school year. I've had the opportunity to go in and watch some of the teachers. We do the lessons with the kids, which includes lots of activities. The first graders and kindergartners are actually puppets that they get to use with the kids and interact with the children with those. The teachers are given a very nice scripted lesson to go through, songs, activities, etc. So those have been fun to watch, and it's fun to then watch the kids use the language of the program, and the teachers use the language of the program in other places outside of those lessons. Other things that are happening at Parkview, we are in the process of sending out our invitation letters for our 4K enrollment. So the class of 2033 will be at our doorstep soon. So we will be having meetings with those potential 4K families, or those new 4K families at the end of February, and then meeting with next year's 5K families in the beginning of March for a 5K roundup to bring them into the building and showcase Parkview for those families.
Thanks for making us feel old.
Sorry.
Can't wait for that graduation.
I know. Well, the other thing too, my other celebration is that there will be snow for our Parkview learners to have at playground. There is nothing better than a good snow hill for these little ones in the wintertime. So we've not had a lot of good snow, so I'm excited for the snow to come and give those little ones something fun.
Not an ice hill, those are two very different things.
That is, no, I want a snow hill. We have dirty ice hills right now that are very small and not safe. But I'm looking for some snow hills for those kids. Not dirty coats.
Is there any way to think about possibly at the high school, middle school, Parkview, to look at bigger signs of 4K registration when that's going on? Obviously, we want every student to, and I'm not sure exactly what those signs are.
We are
But I
putting
think
signs
that,
out in the community, so there'll be signs out on some of the community bulletin boards.
Okay.
The Quick Trip, the Piggly Wiggly, the library, I forget where else I told Melissa to make sure we hang them up. They be pushed out on social
But
media.
even on Main Street, I know that the city owns property right there. I'm talking,
Yeah, I know.
we get thinking outside the box,
Sure,
making
sure.
sure we get every
The corner
single
lot.
Okay,
Right
person
there.
enrolled in whatever,
Yeah.
justified.
absolutely.
I'm curious,
I think,
go ahead, with our two administrators sick, what's happening? Are the flu hitting us, or I
Yeah.
haven't heard too much for,
that's what, for sure, one of them. Not to violate
are there
him.
quite a few kids out, or is there?
Not that.
You know what, not to any number that's an alarming number right now, not anything unusual for this time of year.
We had great attendance, participation at the in-service today too.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like, so I don't know what to say to that. It's nothing more than it has been. I mean, nothing more than other years. How about that? Nothing stands out.
Yeah.
Switching modes back to the sign, I actually have a recommendation to Travis, and we're trying to get some quotes out there for these permanent poles that are installed. And then you just order the banner that goes in the middle, and the banners are inexpensive, and you just you can,
I'm thinking in the park downtown.
Yeah, that's what
but
they should have
obviously maybe
downtown.
calling the city and seeing if we can install them so we can get
Right.
the community informed.
So, I know
Because
the community,
4K
they have
registration,
those-
our registration is very important, so.
big time. Well, we want to get that information in advance, because what we know is, we'll have it now, but we'll pick up students over summer. And we still have some families that look at registration is like, kind of optional.
Correct.
Like, when you come for back to school night, then we'll take care of everything then. And we know that they're coming, but it'll be a lot easier to lock it in
Correct.
versus,
Overhead,
you
right.
know. So. Okay. I like that idea about the signs though, absolutely.
Okay, moving down, possible future action items. Any unfinished business? New business. We have resolution 1819145. Approval of the 2019-2020 open enrollment seats.
So moved.
Motion by Nora. Second by Ron. Okay,
Okay, so this is a very different article in this packet compared to last school year. So last school year, I came to you and said unlimited, okay? And unlimited is when we did not have a special education program that we have been adding staff and adding staff and adding staff. So at this point in time, we've looked around at trends in other districts as well as looking at our local data, and the decision has been made to really say there are no additional seats overall in open enrollment for special education. So based on making sure we're properly staffed and working within what we can for the 2019-20 school year. So there's some highlights on here that are yellow. And on this document, there are general open enrollment in seats available in these sections based upon our staffing model. So there are maxed by policy. There's one area that I did,